Rents and double the rents. Great ways to earn money in Monopoly Deal. In this video, I will share 8 things you need to know about the rents and double the rents. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video for my personal favorite tip. Let's get into the video. Number 1. What is rent? Rent is calculated by the number of properties that you have in a set. For more detail, we will use the pink set. If you have one pink property and charge others rent, they will pay you 1 million. If you have 2 pinks, rent will increase to 2 million. And if you have all 3 pinks, rent will be 4 million. Remember that adding a house to a set will increase the rent amount by 3 million, and a hotel, which can only be played if there is already a house, increases it by an additional 4 million. Therefore, a full set of pinks with a house and hotel would have a rent amount of 11 million. Number 2. Let's discuss the different rent cards. The 2-colored rent, the multicolored rent, and the double the rent. The 2-colored rent card charges all players rent for the property or properties that you own in one of the colors on the card. If you do not have properties that match the color on the card, playing it would be useless as you are attempting to charge rent for properties you don't own. These cards can be very valuable, especially if you're playing with a lot of players. If you play with the max of 5 players and charge 2 million rent, overall you will receive at least 10 million, as long as everybody has some properties or money down on the table. Multicolored rent card. With this card, you can charge any one player of your choice rent for any color that you would like, following the same rules as before. You can only select one color, and it has to be a colored property you own. The double the rent. You can play this with the standard rent cards to double the amount of rent owed. Number 3. What can stop it? The Just Say No. The Just Say No can stop any action card played against you, so it can stop any of these 3 cards. But be sure to check out our Just Say No video, as it can be a little bit tricky to understand all of the rules regarding that card. Number 4. How many of each card are there in the deck? There are 2 double the rent cards, 3 multicolored rent cards, and then the following normal rent cards. 2 light blue brown rents, 2 pink orange, 2 red yellow, 2 dark blue green, and 2 railroad utility. Number 5. Here's a strategy tip. It is a good idea to use multiple cards that gain money on the same turn to weaken opponents before giving them a chance to regroup. This can be a helpful way to get properties from someone, especially when they have a huge pile of cash. For example, playing 3 rents on your turn, or playing a rent with an It's My Birthday and or debt collector would be a great way to gain some extra cash protection for yourself and possibly get into the property collection of your opponents. If you want to see another example of this, you can check out our debt collector and It's My Birthday video. Number 6. Here is a tip with the multicolored rent card. Since this card can only be played against one player, try to see who would get you the most out of the rent. Remember that change is not given, so if you charge someone 2 million in rent and they only have a $4 million cash, they would have to give you that one instead. And if they only have a little bit of money, they may have to pay you with their properties. Number 7. All 3 of these cards can be banked as money. The 2-colored rent and the double the rent have a value of 1 million, while the multicolored rent has a value of 3 million. This can be helpful, especially if you don't anticipate getting that set anytime soon, and the cash up front can help protect yourself. However, be careful with this because you may get the properties for the rent that you just discarded later in the game. I would suggest not playing the double the rent as money except in extreme circumstances, because it is a very powerful card that can bring in a lot of money. Number 8. One of my favorite tips is to use the deal breaker for a set that is the same color as one of the rents in your hand, and then to immediately play the rent and the double the rent to cash in on that property set. If you want to learn more about the deal breaker or Just Say No, click here. Thanks for watching.